Okay, so I hope you got some practice drawing those basic shapes of the face and got to practice with your own facial features by either looking at a photograph or looking at yourself in a mirror. The next step is going to be to start by making the paper, the folded paper that we're going to do this sketch on, and I'm going to show you how to get started. Mine doesn't have any color or inking yet, but you guys are going to have time to color and ink them, so I'll hopefully at the end be able to show you how it turned out. So the first thing you're going to need is a piece of paper. You're going to want to take that paper and fold it in half. Fold it in half. And you're going to want to fold it in half one more time. While you're doing this, be really careful to keep the alignment of the top that's open so it doesn't slide out. Okay. So what you're left with is a piece of paper with 4 even sections, okay? Now one of these, just like in my drawing I showed you, is gonna fold up for when you're sketching the outside with the mask, okay? So what you're gonna wanna do when you start making your sketch here is you're gonna wanna start with your oval shape for your general face shape, okay? And again, remember that midline is gonna be about where your eyes sit. And if you wanna follow the spacing that I showed you in the first video, you can space it out about 5 even spaces that I'll show you about how big your eye needs to be. I'm gonna do that kind of oval shape for my eye. Might have to raise it up a little bit here. That's okay, I'm starting light. I'm gonna do that on both sides. Okay, now on the front, that's where my mask is gonna be. So I'm not gonna see much of the face, well, any of the face below there because the mask's covering it up, right? So I can add my mask here, or sketch out my mask. And with the eyes, again, when I get the shape kind of how I want it to be, I can add my pupil. And I can add my iris. Again, that pupil and the iris are sort of half circles or partial circles attached to the top of the eye. You're not going to see all of the pupil or the iris unless someone's really opening their eyes very wide, like they're surprised or scared. Okay, I'm shading along the top a little bit for some lashes. You can have more pronounced lashes if you like. And you're going to typically see a little bit of shading along the top of the eye too, underneath the lid. Now my eyes are light colored eyes, but if your eyes are dark, your iris is going to be much darker. You can shade it in a little now, or you can wait till you start to add color and think about what kind of colors you want to add then in shading. Okay, I'm going to have an upper lid and might be able to see a little bit of my lower lid here. But I'm going to almost have to come over this folded part to do that. Okay, I also need some eyebrows because I'm looking kind of like a scary alien right now. Now, I grew up in the 90s when eyebrows were real thin, but if you like a thicker eyebrow, you can go ahead and you can add a thicker eyebrow. This is thick by my standards, but I think eyebrows get a lot thicker today. Okay, and I might do a little bit of an indentation for the bridge of my nose, depending on the shape of the bridge of my nose here, because I know that's not going to be straight down. Okay, might think a little bit about the edge of my face shape. Remember, unless I'm One Punch Man, right? My face is not going to be perfectly oval. Okay. And then I got to think about my hair and my ears if I'm going to see them. So I might see top of my ear here, top of my ear. What is my hair like? Where's my hairline start? My hairline kind of starts about here. And I've got shoulder length hair, kind of like a bob. Your hair might, you know, have different texture, but that's about where mine would be. And I'm gonna sketch in a little bit for the lower part of the ear too. Okay, so that's me from the outside, so what you can see with the mask on. I might have to adjust a little bit the mask shape here. You know, you can also think like, do I want to give any detail to my mask? Do I want to, you know, put some creases for the fabric, or do I want to do like a design? Like maybe I'll do a polka dot design on this one. You can do whatever kind of design that you would like. I like having a mask better that has a design on it myself, or a picture. I'm going to give myself a little bit of a hint of a neck down here too, because I don't want to look like a disembodied floating head. Maybe a little shoulder if I like. Okay, so there's me on the outside with my mask. Now I'm going to fold it down. Ooh. And I've got to draw the lower part of my face here. I'm going to find where my nose would be and my mouth. And I'm going to use some of my planning lines to figure out how wide they should be. I'm going to sketch those in quickly. Bottom of my nose. Now I've got, the tip of my nose is very round. You might have a more angular nose shape than mine. So really look and see what kind of nose shape you have. Some people's noses you see a lot of the nostril from the front, and some people's you don't. It really just depends. Okay. And then I'm going to add my lip in here. This time I'm going to start with the center line for the lip. And I'm going to go out to about partway down the eye again. You can make whatever kind of expression you would like to make with your mouth. Mine, I'm going to give them a little bit of a smile, but you could do a really big smile if you wanted to, or a part smile, or do a frown, or you could be sticking out your tongue. It's all part of the surprise of opening up that drawing and see what's happening inside. Okay, so there's my facial features. I still have to deal with the edges of my face. Now, don't be frustrated, you know, if it doesn't look 100% like you. Like, I can say with this drawing right now, there are some things that look similar and some things that don't look like me at all. When you start doing portraits, if it looks like a human, you know, if you're starting in that direction, then you're starting in a good direction. You'll get better at creating likenesses the more you study. But I will say having a picture or looking in a mirror will really help you to see what shape your features are. Like the shape and the size and the placement of the features are what makes us all look a little different. Okay. And maybe if you've got freckles, you could think of other details in your face that you'd like to add, like freckles, or maybe you've got a crazy facial tattoo. No, I'm just kidding. Probably you don't. You might though. Who knows? Okay. All right, so there is my face sort of below the mask. I'm going to give myself a neck and some shoulders. My neck feels a little bit wide, so I'm just going to narrow that down a little bit. And I also have some hair to add here. If the neck ends up feeling a little wide, you can just narrow it down some. Okay, so here's the inside. Now I've got this space around the head. Now what I want you to do is think about words and pictures that describe you, who you are. Think about good words to describe you. I started that here on my other one. You can see, for instance, I chose weird and funny, observant, caring, creative, determined. All of those were good words to describe me. So if you would like to, you can take the words that you've made here. You could do bubble letters or block letters with them, or any other kind of lettering style that you like to do. If you want to do like a bubble letter, I'll show you one with the F over here, for instance. You start by just doing a simple line version of the letter, and then you go around it with a fatter line. And you can come back and you can erase that first thinner version that you made when you were sketching it out after you get that fatter line around it. Really bad eraser on this pencil. I'm just looking for another eraser that maybe I can get this out with. There we go. There we go. So you can see I've got a bubble letter here. And I erase that center line. It gives me a little bit more shape to work with. Okay. I could also do something like a block letter. Maybe I want to take this word observant and make it into something a little bit more like a block letter. So with the block letter, I'm going to do the letter B here to show you. Your lines are going to be less curved. Straighter edged. And then you can come back in. It works just like the bubble letter. You can come back in and erase that line on the inside. So I can figure out what I want to do with my text now. And I've got like spaces between where I can add things that relate to me. Maybe I like Halloween and scary movies. So maybe I'm going to have like, you know, a little bat up here, you know, as part of my weird or funny. You could do things like patterns you like too, you know. So maybe I might have some patterns in here as well, like some spiraling patterns. I might put an image of my favorite food in here. I love sushi, so maybe I'll have a piece of sushi in here. And I'll have to color it to kind of give it more of a sushi feeling, because right now it just looks like a cylinder. But so I'm going to fill this up till it's really, really, really full. And I'm going to take some time away to do that now and to add some color. But right now you should have the outside of your face, and then open it up, and you're going to fill this space in here as well as the inside of your face. Okay? So I'm really thinking about how can I show myself and who I am. I'll be back in just a minute and I'll show you how it turned out. All right, so here is my drawing all done. So this is the outside, so you can see the mask here. You can see I used colored pencils to create softer areas of blending, and I used marker when I wanted something to have the harder edge, like my glasses, or I outlined some of this as well. And so let's open it up and see what's on the inside. Okay, so you can see all my different words I chose about myself and the pictures that represent me. I kind of made some of my pictures represent some of the traits, like the observant. I put that weird spider eye that I told you is not a realistic human eye. I put that on there because it's a great symbol, even though it doesn't look like a realistic human eye. I've got my bat here, weird, funny, observant. I decided to leave my lettering mostly white because I wanted to use color more in the background. And I wanted the contrast of having those bold areas of black and white against that color, so it would really stand out. Okay, here's the other side, determined, creative, caring. One thing I'll say, if you use colored pencil, you can see here I blended several colors together to get the color of my skin. Skin isn't just one color, hair isn't just one color. Really experiment with blending some different colors. I've got like a light blue and a kind of tan color that I used really lightly because I've got very, very, very pale skin. Maybe not quite as pale as the drawing, but it's pale. And some pink for some of the rosiness in the cheeks. So I layered those up, and I layered 3 different kinds of purpley red together to get some depth in my hair. The more you think about pushing those shadow areas back with cool colors and slightly darker values, the more you're going to have 3-dimensional depth and volume in your drawing. All right, so there's my drawing, all done. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. Bye.